Okay, payroll practice in Excel. So here's the pay rates. We have 4 different employees, and here's the hours. First thing, we're going to cut off the regular hours. So 0 to 40 hours is regular hours. Everybody worked at least 40 hours, so put in 40, 40, 40 for everybody. And they're going to get paid 40 hours at regular time. That's the regular time. The next box is time and a half hours. So any amount of hours over 40 but under 60, they're going to make that much per hour times half of this much. So that's what time and a half is. 1.5 times their regular pay rate. So let's calculate the number of hours. Tim gets 5 time and a half hours. Abdullah gets 12 time and a half hours. Sam gets 8. And Cindy gets 0. So here comes the magic. You click a box. You click a cell, any cell. I'm going to click this one for Tim, gross pay. You go to the function bar. You hit the equal sign. That tells the software that the next numbers coming are a formula that's going to calculate something. And the formula is this. I want the total number of regular hours for Tim. That you click on the cell. You see how it popped up here. And we're going to multiply that. And in Excel, multiplication is Shift 8. That little star, it's called an asterisk. And that's the multiply sign, and we're going to multiply it by his hourly rate. So that formula takes care of his 40 hours. Now we're going to add in the part that takes care of his 5 hours at time and a half. So we're going to put add plus, and it's going to be 1.5, shift 8, that's the times, his regular pay again, shift 8, that's times the total number of hours for time and a half, and hit enter. Bam. That's how much Tim makes as a gross pay. That's before any deductions. Okay, here comes some more magic time. So Tim gross pay 448.88. If you'll notice, it has the formula in it. This cell has a formula, and it's simply making the calculations going across this row. So here comes the coolest part about Excel. You can cut and paste the formula from cell to cell. So what you do is you put your cursor in the cell. You get that big white plus sign. You go to the bottom right-hand corner until it turns into the little black plus sign. Click and drag down, only down. And it will go ahead and calculate Abdullah, Sam, and Cindy. But double check. Let's pick Sam. Let's pick Sam's gross pay. Look at the formula. So it's D8, that's his number of hours, times B8, that's his pay rate. That part's right, so it's all right. I'll just tell you that right there. So next step, we're going to calculate their Social Security. Click the Social Security box for Tim. Go to the function bar, hit the equal sign. And again, we're going to tell it to run a quick function, a quick equation. We're going to take his total gross pay, and we're going to shift 8, that means multiply, by the Social Security rate of 8.5%. And Excel recognizes percent, so just leave it as a percent, hit equal. That's how much he's going to pay for Social Security out of this paycheck. So here's a different trick. I'm going to go ahead and cut this formula, but then apply it to these 3 boxes. There's going to be a trick here because we have a fixed cell up here. This cell doesn't move. It's going to stay there. And when we go ahead and cut and paste formulas around in different cells, Excel tends to move the cells that are picked for the calculation. So if you don't want one of the cells to move, we're going to freeze a cell. So I'm going to go back to this cell, Tim, Social Security, and I'm going to freeze this 8.5%, which is G4. I'm simply going to go back to the formula bar, and I'm going to type in a $ before the letter G and after the letter G. So that means whenever I slide or copy or paste this formula around, it's going to keep the cell G4 every time. So that allows us to do this. Again, we just cut and paste it down, and that copies everybody's Social Security pay. It's a wonderful thing. So let's do the Medicare. Equal sign. And I want his gross pay Shift 8 times the Medicare rate of 3.6%. And I'm going to freeze the 3.6% by putting a dollar sign before the H and after the H. I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to slide it down. I'm going to copy the formula down across the other three guys. Bam. So again, let's do state tax. Go to the function bar, hit equals. And I want his gross pay, shift 8, means multiply, times the 9.5% rate. And I'm going to freeze that 9.5% rate so I can copy it to the other boxes by putting a dollar sign in front and behind the I. Click, copy. Let's do the federal tax real quick. Same. Equals. I want his gross pay. Shift 8 means times the rate of 19.8, which is ridiculous. And then we're going to freeze that 19.8% by putting a dollar sign in front of the J and behind the J. Enter. Click, drag. So those are those parts. All right, let me move this over. We're almost done here. Let's move this over. So health insurance is $110 a week. That's fixed. So let's just type in 110. And we'll turn them into dollars by going up here and clicking a dollar sign. And you just click and drag, and it does it automatically. The total withholdings. Click the cell. We're going to go to the auto sum bar. Auto sum. And we want all the withholdings. So that's everything past the gross pay. That's the Social Security, Medicare, state tax, Fed tax, health insurance. Enter. Bam. So he's going to have about $295 pulled out. Poor guy. And then again, we're just going to click and drag that down there. So these are the amounts that are being taken out of everybody's paycheck. So the last step is to calculate the net. So that's going to be his gross pay. Let's go ahead and put this into the function bar. Let me see if I can make this smaller so you guys can see it. Is that going to be in there? It's going to be a close fit, but I want you to be able to see the video. Okay, so you click in the cell. You go to the function bar. You type equals. So we're going to take his gross pay, subtract. That's the hyphen bar between the 0 and equal sign on the top row, minus his total withholdings. And then we hit enter. That is his net pay. It's not very much. But then we click and we drag and we have everybody's net pay. So that's it. I hope it helps. MGZ.